Hey, what's up, my friend? Mike Robertson here, and today I want to do a little Q&A for my guy Matt. So Matt's going through the Complete Coach Cert, and he's got some questions about offset loading and how we use it here at iPhast. So what I think you'll find is a lot of the terminology that we use is somewhat interchangeable, but the thought process is always very consistent. So the questions that Matt has were, what is the difference between ipsilateral and contralateral loading? What is the difference between loading and propulsing? And what's the difference between this into versus out of the cut? So I think if we start at the top, and we start by thinking about the different types of clients that we have and their different body shapes and how they move, we have what Bill would describe as our wide and our narrow ISA archetypes. Now, you don't have to measure ISAs, but watch your clients enough. And if you want to separate them into two very different ends of the spectrum, you've got your wide, barrel-chested people. They don't turn, they don't rotate very well. And on the opposite side, you've got your narrows. So these are your more tubular-shaped people, a little bit more straight up and down. These are the people that I think of when they go into a squat, they just like go into the bottom and never come up. Or they go into a cut, and they go into that cut and they never come out. Okay, so when you know what archetype client or athlete you're working with, then you can prescribe the best possible exercise variation for them, okay? So let's think about this wide archetype. Again, I just think of this as like a fire hydrant, like a defensive lineman, an offensive lineman, somebody that's not meant to rotate, a power lifter, like myself is another example here. So a wide archetype, if you want to get them to rotate again, you need to give them specific loading patterns. So in this case, I would give them a contralateral load, okay? So if I have my left leg in front on a split stance activity, I'm going to hold the weight in my right side. So contralateral to the front leg. I would think of this as somebody that needs to learn how to load. Now, some people may not like this terminology or this word, but I just think of it as this person generally lacks range of motion. So I need to teach them how to load or bend their system, flex their system a little bit more effectively. And then this is somebody that needs to learn how to get into the cut. Okay, so if you're working with, let's say, a running back or a very strong, well-built basketball player, they need to learn how to get into a hip to get back out of it, right? Otherwise, what's going to happen is they're going to end up on the outside of their foot, or something is going to move that you don't want to. So I want to teach them to get into that cut more effectively, okay? So a wide ISA archetype, somebody that doesn't rotate, needs a contralateral load. They need to learn how to load their system, and they need to use this contralateral loading to get into the cut. Now let's flip this, and let's think tall, skinny volleyball player, or something of that nature, right? Somebody that, you know, goes down and struggles to get back up, or they move side to side and they struggle to come back out of their cut. This person needs ipsilateral loading, okay? So if my right leg is in front on that split stance activity, I want the weight in the same side as the front leg. This is somebody that needs to learn how to propulse or push. Now, again, that's not to be confused with the different phases of gait that Bill talks about. I just think of this as somebody that needs to learn how to push and to come out of the cut. Okay, so as you can see here, once you have a mental model of how your specific client or athlete works, then you can prescribe the right set of offset activities for them. So give me just a second. I'm going to set this up real quick, and I'm going to show you the difference in how I actually load this or set it up when I'm in the gym. All right, so I want to show you the difference between contralateral versus ipsilateral loading. So whenever you're doing an offset activity, if I grab the weight in my right hand, what that's going to do, it's going to create a compression strategy on the back of my right side that's going to turn me to my left. So if you're a wide ISA like me, you want to do a contralateral load. So I've got the weight in my right hand, left leg is in front. This is going to help push me to my left side. It's going to help me get into the cut. Now, if I was a skinny volleyball player or somebody that goes into a cut and never comes back out, then I would need an ipsilateral load, because what that compression strategy is going to do on the right, it's going to help control my range of motion. It's going to help push me back out of the cut. So in that case, what I would do is I'd still hold the weight in my right hand, but now I would have my right leg in front, and it's going to help me come down and push back up. Okay? Come down, push back up. So that's the difference between contralateral and ipsilateral loading. I hope that helps you better understand the concept. If you have any other questions, definitely let me know.